This podcast is brought to you by San Diego County Toyota dealers. We've got what it takes. The latest Mexican food. Fix Auto. And Corky's Pest Control.
Welcome to the San Diego Prep Insider Basketball Podcast, where Tommy, Aaron, and Christian are all healthy. None of us are sick, right?
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, Aaron's struggling. He's been playing through.
Like freaking week 4, man. Like I'm done.
Get this guy a doctor, maybe.
Yeah. I've already did. Yep. And the amoxicillin is on deck, so I should be better by next week, guys.
There we go. Perfect. So Aaron will be full strength, but right now he's playing about 85%. We got our usual podcast where we got the top 10s, the game balls, Dunker Dish, and then our game predictions. We'll start with the top 10s. Aaron, honors all yours.
All right, guys. Number 1, Foothills Christian. Number 2, Saints. And we've got a really compelling argument here because Saints did beat Foothills, and we've already been through that. But I'm sticking with my guns. 1, 2, 3. We've got Torrey Pines. Our first movement in a while from my perspective. I've got Mission Hills moving up to 4, flipping with Vista, who's at 5. La Jolla Country Day got a nice win over Santa Fe Christian last night at 6. We've got Modern Day Catholic at 7, Helix at 8, Canyon Crest at 9, and number 10, Rancho Bernardo. By the way, my full top 25 is available on the Full Time Hoops website, where I have 11 Poway, and of course, 10 and 11, they're going to meet later this week, and we're going to talk about that in our Dunker Dish section.
Yeah, we will in our game predictions. We'll get to that. Just a little teaser there. For the SDPI staff, here's our top 10. Number 10, Mission Bay. 9, La Jolla. I kept them there because Reed didn't play in that game. They lost. I'll give them a break for that one. Keep them at 9. 8, I forgot to speak in a Boston accent. I broke my own rule.
Reed Valley.
There we go. Number 8, Poway. Number 7, Modern Day. 6 is Vista. I flipped them with Mission Hills as well. 5, Helix, Mission Hills at 4. Torrey Pines 3, Foothills Christian 2, and Saints still number 1.
Sarah, take it away for the girls.
Hey guys, excited to be joining you once again to talk Lady Hoops. We're going to dive right into it and get started with the top 10 list for this week. At number 10, you'll see we have Santa Fe Christian. At 9, Poway. 8, you'll see Rancho Bernardo. 7, West Hills. 6, we have Scripps Ranch. 5, we have Eastlake. 4, La Jolla Country Day. 3, La Costa Canyon. 2, still Mission Hills. And 1, still Bishops, hanging out at the very top. They like the weather up there. But as you know, there are games leading up to next week, and we will see if that changes the list at all for next week. Also, we have to give out a few game balls, so let's get right to that. First game ball goes to Alasia Styles of La Jolla Country Day. Now, she put up 20 points in last night's game, their win over Horizon Christian. She also led the Lady Tories to a state championship as a sophomore, and she had 20 scholarship offers. Ultimately, she decided to go to Cal next year, so big congratulations to her. She gets a game ball this week. We also have another game ball to give to Kayla Rooks of Mission Hills. Now, she's playing a big role in their success this year. We can't forget she has 3 championships on her resume, and she was also a McDonald's All-American nominee, which is still a big deal. And she's averaging a double this season, and next year she's going to go play for the Washington Huskies, so she gets a game ball as well. Congratulations to those 2 ladies. Keep working hard out there, and lots more good stuff to come. And so keep it locked in right here, STPI, a basketball podcast. Until next week, I'll pass it back to you guys.
So we got to go to our game balls. Christian, I'm going to let you go first. Who are your game balls?
All right, let's get it started. We'll go a couple from Friday. Nathan Middleton from Mount Carmel. He scored. Nasty Nate apparently is his name. Scored 19 in a win over Del Norte. So great game for the Sun Devils there. Next game ball, Logan Wozni from LCC in their win over Carlsbad. That was one of our game picks that we did. LCC big time win there. 18 points from Wozni. Great game for him. Next one, let's go Philip Willis from Maranatha Christian.
What you talking about, Willis?
I'm talking about 27 points and a win over Esco. Charter. Big time win. And then Aaron and I are going to split a game ball. We'll talk about some Saints players. I'll leave a couple for you. I'm going to steal the Tayshaun Cherry game ball because that block.
Pretty good.
They had to call in UN peacekeeping troops afterwards to prevent any more war crimes from being committed there. But, you know.
Did you that one in the shower?
JT Cox had a great game. You know, as he calls himself, Captain Jack. Jack Peterson had a great game. It wasn't a singular win. That was a team win for Saints. So I'll let you finish the Saints game ball, and we'll get to the rest of your game balls.
So, of course, we're going to give another game ball to Saints freshman, Chibuzo Agbo. 18 points, you know, he didn't look like a freshman, which is, you know, the best compliment you can give a true freshman.
You could have said that any one of those Saints kids was a senior.
And believed it. Yeah, Chibuzo had a big-time game. We're going to skip over to Modern Day down south. They beat Bonita Vista by almost 40 points. I was there to witness the carnage, and I was also there to give a game ball to Trey Anderson, Beyond, BJ Riley, and Cliff Kidd. Excellent performances in that resounding win. I'm also going to give a game ball to a guy who had a really good game and a loss. 5'4" Miles Williams from Francis Parker scored 10 points in the second half on 4 shots. Yes.
Wow.
10 points on 4 shots.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. You know, wonderful day at the office. You punch in, punch out. You've got that, and you're gone. And then, of course, my last game ball, a game I didn't attend, but I got to give one to my man Steven Sedlock from Tri-City Christian, dropping a cool 50. Whew. Just
gonna leave that there.
Yeah, just gonna leave that there. And unfortunately, it was at Escondido Chargers' expense. Guys getting off on them.
Brutal. Just good game, Steven. Good job, Steven, dropping 50.
Good job,
Always. I don't think I could score 50 points if you put the clock on and just gave me an empty court. I don't.
Really?
It'd be hard if you had to run down. I don't think I could do it. So good job, Steven. Anyway, moving on to our Dunker Dish now. First Dunker Dish. Aaron, I'll let you answer this one first. Division 2 is the division with the most parity, which I misspelled incorrectly in our notes, and you made fun of me earlier. But first of all, spell parity correctly, and then give your answer.
Parity, Parity, spelling bee champ in 7th grade. And I'm going to dunk this one. Division 2, I said this last year, you know, it's deja vu. Last year I said that any team 1 through 16 could pull an upset in Division 2. This year, very similar. You know, you've got the top of the heap, you know, obviously the La Joyas, the Sarahs of the world, and Patrick Henrys, the Orange Glens, the Scripps Ranches, and all so on and so forth. And you just keep going and you're like, wait, I've named the entire bracket. And that's where that's the definition of parity, where anyone can beat anybody on any given night. And I'm looking forward to watching the Division 2 playoffs unfold, even more so than I am Division 1. Which is very top-heavy this year, and the Open Division, which, you know, is also very top-heavy. So Division 2, you guys got my vote. Looking forward to you guys beating each other up in the next few weeks.
Christian, what do you think?
I'm going to absolutely dunk this one. I look at this bracket, and to me it's really interesting because you always kind of get a feel for, you know, who's the odds-on favorite, who's this, who's that, and you kind of biasly hope for certain bracketing to happen because you look at maybe the Open Division, you go, well, is Foothills or Saints really going to get any competition from 7 or 8? Mm-hmm. And then you kind of go, well, maybe not. Maybe that would be a first-round blowout. Any way, shape, and form that this D2 bracket gets seeded, there's going to be great games in the first round, which means it's going to just keep getting boiled down to better and better games. Also, you look at it, the whole county is going to be represented. Yep. There's great South Bay teams. There's great North County teams. We're talking about some East County teams. So to me, that's an awesome thing where we could get some matchups that didn't happen in the regular season, happening in the playoffs, that you could just be like, well, toss a coin. This is going to be a great matchup. So yes, I absolutely dunk that D2 is the most exciting, most even division in the county.
I will dunk it as well for what it's worth. Moving on to our second Dunker Dish, a grid hooper. One of my favorite terms, grid hoop.
Great hoop.
Football/basketball player. Olympians Isaiah Williams is the most underrated junior in San Diego. Aaron, what do you think about that?
I'm going to dish this one. Isaiah Williams is having a really good season. I remember talking to Marty Ellis at the beginning of the year. I saw them during the preseason, and they struggled a little bit. And he was like, we got this kid, Isaiah Williams, who's a big-time rebounder for us, defends, hustles, and when we have him, we're different. And he was right on. When they have him, they're arguably the odds-on favorite to win Division IV this year. But there are a number of juniors. I mean, we've talked about this, that junior class really having an impact. Guys like Chris Modica, who we just talked about for the first time last week. A kid like Nate Middleton, who we just brought up. Kids who are leading their teams in scoring as juniors. Isaiah Williams is one of the underrated juniors. I'm not sure I can really say he's the most underrated.
Christian?
I'll give this one like a gentle finger roll type of dunk because, as we said, we hate.
We got like a pregame, not a lot of.
Exactly. Yeah. Trying to avoid getting that technical. We talk about not wanting to ever classify one player as the most of anything because that leaves room to insult people or just to be wrong in general. But you brought up some interesting points of he's not a scoring leader, he's a team leader. Mm-hmm. He's rebounds, he's hustle, he's just general intelligence and athleticism on the court on a team that doesn't get a lot of love. So with all of those factors, he might be one of the most underrated just because there's so many layers to it of he's not getting credit for being a top scorer because he's not dropping 50 a night. He's not getting credit for his success because Olympian is a D4 school. He's not getting credit because Olympian doesn't play in the main spotlight matchups wise. So there's a very strong argument to dunk this one because of all those factors compounding together.
See that?
So
I would also say you can make the same using those exact same criteria. You can make the same argument for Miles Manning at Coronado. They've only lost 2 games, but they're in the lowest division of lowest league of all those city schools. He does more than just score the basketball. I mean, again, there's so many guys out there.
Well, and that's where I'm saying you hate to say the most, but I will say that Isaiah makes a very strong case for it based off of the fact that there's all those compounding factors. Yeah. So I'll give him a little dunk, little something.
All right, so a layup for Christian there. Tip dunk, whatever. Going on to our game picks now. We'll start with some games from one game from Thursday. Excuse me. It's Scripps Ranch going to La Jolla. I will take the Vikings in this one. Aaron, do you agree or disagree?
I'm going to tepidly agree because, they just got blitzed by Sarah last night out of nowhere. 65-49 loss. But again, we talk about singular talents being able to will teams in games. This is going to be a very interesting one because we've got our favorite Batre Koyunju. Yes. Very underrated player versus Reed Farley, who's not underrated but is one of the very best players in our section. I think the home crowd gets them over the top. We've talked about that, and that's they've got one of the best home courts, home court advantages. Kids don't like playing at La Jolla, and they love playing at their gym. And so I think they right the ship. I think they get back on the winning track, and I think they get it done versus
Ooh, nice little ship Viking pun there. Ooh, right the ship. Nice. Christian, is it a sweep?
Aaron, I appreciate you complimenting the La Jolla student section. It truly is a vicious group of individuals, and I see this one. Let's go a step past this, saying not Batteray versus Reed. I'm going to say this one's like a Kyle Mullen versus Charlie Gal type of game because we know that both those superstars can play at a top level, but it's going to be can the big man who helped facilitate that be healthy and be on top of their game. This one, of all the games we're going to do for our game picks, will be the closest.
Okay.
This one, I think, would be Scripps wins it at their house, La Jolla wins it at their house. Okay. So I'll say onward sails the good ship Viking, La Jolla wins.
Is that a thing?
That's how the alma mater ends, baby.
Oh, there we go. All right, onward sail the good ship Viking. All right, nailed it. Moving on to Friday, we got 3 games from there. First one is going to be a North County matchup, a rivalry. It's RB going to Poway. Another one of those ones where it's basically even. I kind of agree with you. I think the home team just wins this one because that's just what it is. So I'm going to take Poway in this one, Aaron.
I'm going to take Poway too, but I'm going to say that this will be the closest of all the matchups that we have listed. This is one of those games. They're 10 and 11 in my rankings, which shows you how close I think they are in terms of
some parity.
There's some definite parity. I think that the how am I just missing these words these days? The X factor.
It's the antibiotics.
Yes. It's drugs talking. The X factor in this game is going to be Jordan Cook Harper, the 6'8" son of NBA star Ron Harper. Rancho Bernardo doesn't have a true interior presence. Andrew Thompson does a really good job for them. 6'4.5" kind of bruiser. He does some good things, but I think that one guy in the middle will give them trouble. And, Cook Harper, he's a very versatile player. He can score from the inside. He can score from the outside. He's a really underrated passer. So I'm thinking that is going to be kind of the turns the tide to the home team. I think Zach Ryder finishes it off, but I think this is going to be a game played within 2 to 5 points. But I'm going to give it to Poway.
Is it a sweep?
I'm going to go with Poway also. I think that Poway. I know that it's hard to say that they don't get enough credit because they have been in our top 10 and whatnot, but they're a team without a ton of sizzle. You talk with RB, you single out JJ Overton, and you're like, oh, that guy's a great playmaker. You could kind of list off like Cook Harper, Derek Sitt, right? Like, there's a lot of guys on Poway who are just no downside.
Yeah.
Not top player in the county type sizzly upside, but just very little downside. Poway is a team with just no errors, really. So I will say that kind of stability wins them a home game very easily.
All right, another Friday game. University City traveling to Point Loma. I will take the Pointers. Aaron, are we going to agree on 3?
Ooh. I'm going to take Point Loma too. University City has been one of the surprises of the year. That diminutive lineup that crossed over our Christian Pedersen to the point where he no longer he doesn't walk without the assistance of a walker these days. Don't jump. Yes, he can't jump right now because his ankles are swollen. But Point Loma, they're a team that it's hard to get a read on them at times. They've got a lot of physical talent, but they are very young. So they make some, freshman and sophomore mistakes in some critical games. But I feel like they're also a team that is very dangerous as the season moves on. They were a team that also started the season a lot later than other teams. They played their first game in the middle of December when other teams have been like 2 weeks into the year. So I think they're gelling right now. And I think that with the home crowd, with Yassine Garam, Dakari Allen playing good basketball, I think that they get the home win.
Are we going to have another sweep?
No. I will go with University City for the exact same reason that you went with Point Loma, of just this is a team that we haven't seen an entirely consistent method of who they are. Like, both of these teams have had really great wins and kind of bad losses. So both of these teams, it's really hard to consistently say, if this team and that lineup shows up, they win. Yeah. It's not a lock for either one of these because they're both young and they're both figuring out who they are. I see this as a big opportunity for UC to have a trademark road win. They've had some great wins at home this year. This can be their first road win for Alex Bruce and company, so I'm going to go with the Centurions.
All right, finally a discrepancy there. Our last game from Friday, it's Oceanside going to El Camino. Give me the road team. Give me the Pirates. I like the way Oceanside's playing this year. Aaron, agree or disagree?
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to give it to El Camino. Of course, that home aura was already damaged earlier this year when Santa Fe Christian came in and beat them. But I think El Camino is a team that has improved. Remember, they almost pulled off the upset against Mission Hills last week, losing by 6. And I think that Jalen Flanagan and company, they're going to get it done. Now, with that said, this is the closest that this rivalry has been in 10 years. And it's not even, this is, if Oceanside's going to get them, this is going to be the year they're going to get them. But I don't think they get them at home. I think they get them on the road at Oceanside, but I'm going to pick the Wildcats.
I will also go with El Camino. I love that we're talking about how close all these games would be of their coin tosses of who's the home team. It's been a lot of parody.
I did a bad wink there too.
Oceanside, Donovan Leahy has been a great interior presence, and he will give El Camino all sorts of trouble down low. But you just got to talk about Jalen Flanagan and Devontae Shepard being able to spread the floor, being able to score in close and outside. El Camino pulls out a win.
All right, so I got you guys Pirates. Don't worry about that. Last game we're talking about is from Saturday. The road team for the rest of the year, Kearny, going to Santa Fe Christian. I will take Santa Fe Christian. I think this will be a close one as well, but I like the Eagles here. Aaron, are we agree on this one, or we were agreeing on most of them?
I think we're going to agree on this one. I'm going to pick Santa Fe Christian as well. I know. I'm not jumping off of the Kearny bandwagon, but what I will say is that this is, the road warrior, syndrome is starting to take a toll on them. Not being able to play in front of a home crowd. And Santa Fe Christian, they have a decent home crowd, and they get
they gave Foothills a run.
Yeah, exactly.
There's been some close games there at SFC.
Exactly. So I'm thinking that this is the game where Santa Fe Christian, uncorks,
Pent-up aggression.
Yes, just finally just says, you know what, enough is enough. We're gonna get out of here with a 10-point plus win, and so I'm gonna pick the Eagles.
I think I know who you're going to pick, but I'll let you.
For entertainment's sake, we got to have some disagreement here, and also I'm not going to get off the Kearny bandwagon until they prove me wrong. They've had some health issues, and it can drain your focus a little bit when you're, like you said, playing those road games after road games after road games. But I just go back to the fact that this is Robbie Robinson's chance to finish his career out and really prove that he is the greatest to ever play at Kearny. And the road warrior thing is tough, but I think that Kearny is able to rise to the occasion because we're starting to run out of weeks to get playoff seeding. And they need big wins now to solidify where they're going to be in the playoffs and get them into that D1 bracket in it wouldn't even be a home game, but in a home game. So, for me, this is just the momentum is, or not the momentum, but the emotion is on Kearny's side still, just enough to get a close win.
Okay.
All right, so there we go. There are game picks. That's our podcast for today. Guys, anything you want to add before we get out of here for this week?
Yeah, actually, San Isidro is having the first annual Jesus Garcia Invitational on Saturday, of course, named after the 2018 player Jesus Garcia, who passed away last year after complications due to Marfan syndrome. 6 o'clock, the main game is going to be San Isidro versus Madison. The undercard is going to be San Diego versus O'Farrell Charter. If you guys can make it out, if you're down in the South Bay and want to see a couple of competitive basketball games, make it out there. And Tucker, again, our condolences belatedly a year later. The spirit of Jesus lives strong on the podcast.
Christian.
Yeah, I just want to say huge shout out to the Pit and Los Locos for showing up huge to the Holy Bowl. And kind of an extension to that, I want to speak to all the fans, players, coaches, everybody. Rivalries. I cannot stress how cool and an important part of the high school basketball experience these are. And I know with re-leaguing and re-divisioning, some of those games are starting to fall by the wayside emotionally. So I'm not saying to kids right now, you got to go find that classic rival that your school has hated for X amount of decades and really invest in that game. But I can't stress enough about go out there close out the back half of this season with some intensity. Create a great environment. You're going to remember these games because you're going to remember the context of these games of saying, wow, man, we turned out big. There's a huge crowd. There was a lot of atmosphere. That kid hit that one shot. So I challenge student sections, players, everybody, find something to get invested in down the line. It could be a random Wednesday night game, but if it's a team that you care about playing, get out there and get after it. Tweet at us if you want us to come check it out. We're always down to find good games where people care. So just rise to the occasion. Let's close out this season well.
Yeah, and I will add this too. I mean, some of the best times I had as a student were in the student section, not even playing sport. I think the student section almost be just as fun as playing.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Just bring that context. Yeah. It's very easy to create great games. But it's on all of us as a community to create those great games. You can't just sit back and be like, oh, well, why does this rivalry not matter anymore? It's because we're not showing up. Get there. Get loud. Be proud. There's so many great teams and great games to still support this season.
Great. All right, guys, that'll do it for us this week. Get out there, go to a game, be loud. And annoy the other team. Right. Yeah, but classily, with class, right? Or with a little bit of class.
Respectable.
Just no swear words.
Yeah.
Just no swear words. All right, we'll see you guys.
All right.